A really surprisingly common but very frustrating trend that I see in a lot of evangelical Christian circles is this idea that Christianity is not a religion, but a faith. This idea that faith is good, but religion is bad. That ritual is completely separate from faith, from Christianity, as instead a form of distraction or even idolatry that brings you away from God. I think this is, for one, pretty silly, but also I think that it's extremely dangerous as well. Think of it this way. If you rely solely on faith in rejection of all ritual and any sort of religiosity, you would not be going to church every Sunday. That is a ritual. And if you do deny that, then I have to strongly doubt how Christian, at least traditionally Christian, you really are. God has instituted rituals and liturgy throughout all of history. Throughout the Old Testament, he did this a lot of times. He implemented incredibly important rituals. So, why are suddenly rituals bad now? Those rituals didn't save anyone in the Old Testament. That was very clear. Those rituals were not the cause of grace or forgiveness, really. But they were mandated. They were important. So why would rituals as a whole suddenly be bad? Why would religion as a whole suddenly be bad? Why is it now only and solely your experience and personal relationship with Christ that matters? I think this comes from the idea that tradition is infallible, or at least treated infallible into many circles, and is almost this replacement or distraction from God to some people. But I don't think just because some people take it too far and treat it poorly, that you can then reverse the pendulum all the way back to the opposite extreme and start condemning all forms of religion or ritual. Christianity is a religion. We have practices handed down to us. We have the weekly church service. We have the Lord's Supper, or the Eucharist, as many people will also call it. We have worship, even. And all of these things are good. If you take all of them away, your faith becomes a little bit more rocky, because having these rituals keeps you firm. Sometimes they can also just be, in a more general sense, much more practical. For example, Lent. I have an incredible problem with soda. I'm a very addictive personality. I get into the habit. I get into an addictive habit, and I cannot stop, no matter how much I try. But last year, for my first Lenten observation, I decided to give up soda again. And I had mixed feelings because previously I would be drinking bottles a day, several a day, constantly, and I wouldn't even be able to go a day without drinking something. I would almost panic sometimes. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but only a bit of an exaggeration. I would always need to make sure that I had that available to me. But during Lent, it became pretty easy. I thought it would be suffering. I thought it would be awful, but it was simple. I gave it up, and that was it. For those 40 days, it was over. I didn't drink any soda, and it wasn't even that difficult. And now this year, I decided to increase it up a notch. So I took off soda from my diet as I did last year. And I also added on a bunch of different habits that I want to get used to, like journaling or studying a religion more intensively and more scheduled. And it also has paid off really well. There's just something about doing that during the Lenten season that increases your conviction. There's just something special about it. And it's probably because everybody else is doing it. And it's also probably because the entire church has been doing it for centuries. There's just something unique about it. You feel like this is different. This will do something. This will work. This is trustworthy. This is safe. This is reliable. And also, again, it is corporate. You are doing it along with many other people. You know for a fact that no matter what's going on, there are a lot of people doing a similar thing, having a similar experience. But if you take away all religiosity and liturgy or ritual, suddenly things become a bit more rocky, because you have only yourself to look to. You have only yourself and the personal word of anyone around you that you can rely on. You do not have this objective, okay, this is true because it's been going on for centuries and centuries, and I know it's true because it has worked. You simply have, okay, I feel this way. This person says something that makes me feel something. You are relying too much on your feelings. It is all intranos, it is all inside of you instead of looking outwards into something that is more valuable, stronger than you. We are all weak, we are all sinful. Now, I'm not sitting here right now trying to make this big essay defending religion and ritual or Lent or anything, but I am sitting here just sharing my thoughts about this matter because I do think it is important. And I'm curious what everybody else thinks. I'm curious if you have any thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Why do you disagree with me? Why do you agree with me? Let me know. I would love to talk about that. This is my experience, at least part of my experience, not the full experience, with religion. It has benefited me greatly. I saw no spiritual edification and only decline when I was a more free evangelical person who thought it only mattered that I had personal faith in God. Because there was nothing really to guide me, it was just myself and my feelings. But now I have a whole church, I have a whole 2,000 years of tradition to guide me. And even if those things aren't infallible, like the Bible, like the Word of God is, they are still incredibly important and valuable. And they have been insanely helpful. And I've seen massive, massive spiritual growth and understanding as a result of it. So, curious. Let me know what your thoughts are on my thoughts. But, either way, God bless you and keep you.